In the summer of 1911, a French artist walked into the Louvre expecting to see one of the world's greatest masterpieces. Instead, he found an empty wall, 4 iron pegs, and a mystery that would shock the entire world. Their artist had arrived early to sketch Renaissance masterpieces. As he approached the Salon Carré, he expected to see the gentle smile of the Mona Lisa. Instead, he stopped dead in his tracks. It takes the museum administration more than 24 hours to realize a theft has occurred. When the terrible truth finally emerges, panic spreads across France. The borders are sealed. Every departing train is searched. Ships are stopped before leaving port. Detectives launch one of the largest manhunts in French history. They question millionaires. They interrogate anarchists. And in a bizarre twist, they even bring in a little-known Spanish artist named Pablo Picasso. Yet the man they are looking for is not an art thief. He is not a criminal mastermind. He is a humble glass fitter living just a few streets away in a tiny Paris apartment. This is the story of a man who walked out of the Louvre carrying a priceless masterpiece beneath his shirt. And in less than 15 minutes, he changed art history forever. To understand how the Mona Lisa was stolen, you need to understand the Louvre of 1911. It was not the high-security fortress we know today. It was a chaotic palace filled with hundreds of rooms and more than 250,000 objects. A handful of aging night watchmen were expected to protect all of it. And the Mona Lisa? It wasn't the museum's biggest attraction. Most visitors barely noticed it. The painting hung among dozens of other works, completely unprotected. Enter Vincenzo Peruggia, a quiet Italian immigrant working as a handyman in Paris. He finds steady work inside the Louvre. His job is simple. He cuts and installs protective glass over some of the museum's most valuable paintings. Every day, he moves through the galleries unnoticed. He learns the routines, the shortcuts, the blind spots, and before long, he has access that most thieves could only dream of. He knows the museum routines. He knows the guard rotations. He knows every blind spot. Most importantly, he holds these priceless masterpieces in his own calloused hands. Vincenzo is deeply patriotic. He believes Napoleon stole the Mona Lisa from Italy a century earlier. The facts don't matter to him. Every time he looks at the painting, he sees an Italian treasure trapped inside a French museum. And slowly, an idea begins to take shape. The Mona Lisa belongs in Italy. The tension begins on a quiet Sunday evening. August 20th, 1911. The Louvre is preparing to close for the day. The last visitors slowly leave the galleries. The guards begin their final rounds. Quietly, Vincenzo slips into a small supply closet near the Salon Carré. He closes the door. Darkness. He remains completely still, listening, waiting. As the footsteps of the guards slowly fade into the distance, he spends the entire night trapped inside the tiny room. Hours pass. The museum falls silent. Finally, dawn arrives. It is Monday, August 21st, the one day of the week when the Louvre is closed to the public. The galleries are nearly empty. Only a handful of workers move through the building. Vincenzo opens the closet door. He steps into the corridor wearing a white museum worker's smock. The perfect disguise. He blends in perfectly. No one questions him. No one stops him. He walks directly into the Salon Carré. The room is empty. The Mona Lisa hangs exactly where he expected. Vincenzo reaches up and lifts the painting from the wall. 20 pounds of wood and history. He carries it into a nearby service stairwell. Working quickly, he removes the heavy frame. The theft is underway. Then everything goes wrong. Vincenzo carries the painting down to a rear exit. Freedom is only a few steps away. He grabs the doorknob and turns. Nothing. The door is locked. Panic sets in. He pulls a screwdriver from his pocket. The doorknob comes off easily, but the lock remains shut. For the first time that morning, the plan begins to collapse. Then he hears something that freezes him in place. Footsteps. Someone is coming down the staircase. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. A man appears around the corner, not a guard, a museum plumber. Thinking quickly, Vincenzo complains about the broken door. He acts like an ordinary employee. The plumber believes him. Moments later, the lock clicks open, and the thief is free. Vincenzo calmly walks into the streets of Paris. No alarms, no pursuit, no suspicion. He boards a public omnibus and heads home. Inside his small apartment, he opens a wooden trunk. Carefully, he places the Mona Lisa inside. A false wooden bottom slides into place. The world's most famous missing painting disappears into darkness. The greatest art theft in history is over. And it took less than 15 minutes. Back at the Louvre, nobody notices. Hours pass. Then an entire day. Only on Tuesday afternoon does the truth emerge. The Mona Lisa is gone. News spreads across the world. Newspapers explode with headlines. Crowds gather outside the Louvre. And when the museum finally reopens, people arrive not to see the Mona Lisa, but to see the empty space where it once hung. The investigation quickly turns bizarre. Police have no suspects, no witnesses, and almost no evidence. Desperate for answers, investigators begin chasing wild theories. One of those theories leads to a young Spanish artist. His name is Pablo Picasso. He is questioned by police, dragged into court, and suddenly finds himself connected to the most famous missing painting on Earth. In the end, he's completely innocent. Meanwhile, detectives continue interviewing Louvre employees. Eventually, they arrive at Vincenzo Peruggia's apartment. They ask questions, take notes, and search for clues. What they don't realize is that the Mona Lisa is only a few feet away, hidden inside a wooden trunk. The officers accept his explanation. They thank him for his time and leave. The world's most famous missing painting remains hidden in plain sight. For 2 long years, Vincenzo Peruggia keeps the Mona Lisa hidden. The investigation slowly fades. New leads disappear. The world assumes the painting is gone forever. But Vincenzo grows impatient. He believes the time has finally come. The Mona Lisa must return to Italy. So he writes a letter to a respected art dealer in Florence. He signs it with a simple name, Leonardo. In the letter, he claims to possess the missing masterpiece, and he offers to bring it home. In December of 1913, Vincenzo boards a train to Florence. The painting travels with him. Hidden inside the same wooden trunk, he checks into a modest hotel. Then he invites 2 respected art experts to inspect his prize. Vincenzo expects gratitude, recognition, perhaps even a reward. The experts arrive, the trunk is opened, and for the first time in more than 2 years, the Mona Lisa sees daylight again. The experts immediately recognize it. The missing masterpiece is real. The experts remain calm. They smile, shake Vincenzo's hand, and tell him they need one final inspection. He agrees, certain that he is about to become a national hero. 30 minutes later, there is a knock at the door. Vincenzo opens it. Standing outside are police officers. The dream is over. Without resistance, the thief is finally arrested. The trial captures worldwide attention. Newspapers once again fill their front pages with the Mona Lisa. But something unexpected happens. Many Italians support Vincenzo. They do not see a criminal, they see a patriot, a man who tried to bring an Italian treasure home. Public sympathy grows rapidly, and because of it, Vincenzo receives a surprisingly light sentence, just over a year in prison. But the greatest winner of the entire story is not Vincenzo. It is the painting itself. Before returning to France, the Mona Lisa tours Italy. Crowds gather everywhere it appears. People travel long distances just to see it. When the painting finally returns to Paris, it receives a welcome fit for royalty. A simple portrait has become a national event. 2 years of headlines changed everything. Before the theft, the Mona Lisa was simply another Renaissance painting. After the theft, it became a global icon. Its image appeared on postcards, magazines, advertisements, and newspapers around the world. The painting had become famous. Vincenzo Peruggia believed he was correcting a historical wrong. Instead, he accidentally created the world's first global art celebrity. Today, millions of visitors enter the Louvre every year. Most come for a single reason: to see the Mona Lisa. Few realize that its legendary status began with a simple theft: a wooden trunk, a fake identity, and a museum worker who decided to take a masterpiece home.